before we kind of break down everything, I want to kind of quickly talk about the MVP discussion because I'm seeing it kind of get a little bit crazy. Steph Curry is still like in the top 3, and I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. I can't get that. So I don't like Steph Curry being kind of in the top 3, top 4 of MVP, but okay, that's not what this point is supposed to be. The point is DeMar DeRozan just overnight is now shooting up to like number 1. Everybody in the national media, people on social media, everybody is on DeMar DeRozan, and I've got no problem with loving DeMar DeRozan. We've been supporting DeMar DeRozan for the last 2 months. We've been telling y'all DeMar DeRozan needs to be in the discussion. We've said, hey, he's not number 1. We can't really put DeMar DeRozan at the number 1 spot, but he needs to be in the discussion, and we currently have kind of DeMar DeRozan as number 3. We've got Jokic 1, Embiid 2, and DeMar DeRozan number 3 so far, and then we have Siakam 4, and then I guess I would put Steph Curry 5, but who cares? Who cares about top 5? It's top 3, top 4 of MVP voting. Steph Curry, I don't really know why he's in there, but Vegas for some reason has him very, very high in the odds. We don't get it, but they got it in there. Whatever. But just overnight tonight is really when everybody is now on DeMar DeRozan, and why I have such just a little bit not agreeableness of that, and I put out a video when I was doing prep of the show today because it was just so mind-blowing. Y'all are overcompensating now. That's what it is. Y'all are just overcompensating because nobody was giving DeMar DeRozan any true love in the first half of the season, and now after the All-Star break, because he had one real great game, well, not just one real great game, the man's been great. That's why we've been championing him as an MVP candidate. But everybody's overcompensating because nobody gave him any credit in the first half of the season. Once again, we had no problem. The last 2 months, we've been championing DeMar DeRozan. Once again, we're always kind of about a week ahead of the national media. But, you know, we don't love to toot our own horn that much. We say some things here and there. But, yeah, we're usually about a week ahead of the national media headlines for the most part on everything. But we digress on that. But DeMar DeRozan is fantastic. But what's the problem with him being number 1 in the MVP voting, folks? The V. The V in the MVP. Most valuable player. DeMar DeRozan's great, but he's on a big 3 of the Bulls, folks. He's on the big 3. Vucevic, Zach LaVine, even Lonzo Ball. So, I mean, we really classified this Bulls team as a big 4 at the start of the season. Then Lonzo goes down. But who steps up? Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. I mean, they're getting it done. This is still a little bit of a big 4 here in Chicago, which I'm not knocking. You need a big 3. You need depth ability to win a ring. So DeMar DeRozan is on track to potentially win a ring, but for MVP, most valuable player, we got to give that to Jokic. He has no big 3 on that Nuggets team. He would have had a big 3, but Jamal Murray got injured last season, hasn't played all year so far. Michael Porter Jr. played 9 games this season, folks. 9 games, and this Nuggets team is in the playoffs at the All-Star break and just won last night in a little bit of dominating fashion down low. Nuggets are the 6th seed at 34 wins. The Bulls are the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference at 39 wins. DeMar DeRozan in a lesser conference. We put DeMar DeRozan in the Western Conference. He's got 39 wins. He's the 4th seed. He has to go and face the Jazz or the Mavericks, however you would kind of want to decipher it, because we have to add a team to the Western Conference. He's the 4th seed. So he's facing like the Jazz. He's not the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Nuggets are 5 games behind the Bulls overall in win totals. With Jokic doing it himself, we saw the Bulls only have 6 quality wins at the All-Star break, where every other team was having 10 or 11 or more. That's who y'all want to give MVP to? He's having a great year. Don't get me wrong. These are great numbers. 28, 5, and 5. Great numbers. But Jokic is averaging 26, 13, and 8, folks. 2 less points, but like 8 more rebounds and 3 more assists. On way better shooting. DeMar DeRozan and everybody is clamoring, gushing over DeMar DeRozen shooting 52%. Yes, he's great. He's a great mid-range shooter. That's it. That's all he's doing is shooting the mid-range. Jokic is shooting better threes than DeMar DeRozen. DeMar DeRozen is shooting 35% from three. Jokic is shooting 37%. So Jokic, a big, can stretch the floor more than DeMar DeRozen can. He's putting up more points consistently than DeMar DeRozen can. And he's doing that while also being the big on the team. Jokic, 13 rebounds. Incredible. So yes, we love DeMar DeRozan. We've been championing him to get the respect of being an MVP candidate, but now y'all want to give him number one because y'all never gave him credit and y'all want to overcompensate for yourself? No, stop that. Just acknowledge he's a great player. Maybe kind of, just shout him out on a daily basis. That's why we do the show every single day. So we know that turning point. When is the turning point of everybody kind of getting on one narrative? When should we be getting on that one narrative? How are teams progressing? How are they winning? How are they looking when they win? How are they looking when they lose? That's why we do the show every single day and talk every team and every single player every single day. So we're not 2 weeks behind, 3 weeks behind the curve like the national media is on DeMar DeRozan. We do everything for a reason, folks. Here we are, almost a year and 8 months into this. We do everything for a reason, folks. We don't do anything for no reason. Damn. So DeMar DeRozan being the number one MVP, I can't get behind that at all. Number three, fine. If you want to make him number two, you want to make that argument, I can maybe potentially agree with that. I'm not out. I'm not kind of putting that he can never be number two. It's going to be hard for him to get to that number one spot, but number two, number three, yes, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. Number three, a little bit more, I think, is fine, but number two, once again, you make the argument, you make that debate, I can see maybe where you're coming from, absolutely. But can't give him number one, folks. I just can't give him number one. That's really all. I cannot give DeMar DeRozan number one. And we're getting everybody on social media kind of, getting on DeMar DeRozan. And I think that's like the biggest thing that I always have an issue with is when I see just an overnight flip of a narrative of everybody getting on the same page because everybody just kind of looks at social media and agrees for the most part. I know it's not everybody. I get it. But when everybody is on the same narrative overnight that they weren't on that night before, it always drives me crazy, folks, because it's always coming from somewhere. Narratives get pushed from everywhere, folks, whether they're true or not. They get pushed from one stance, from one point, and when everybody just jumps on a narrative that is just lacking a little bit or is late, I'm just like, why now? When like last night, everybody was kind of on DeMar DeRozan. It wasn't just kind of the commentators of ESPN and Fox Sports, but then we get the stats people at ESPN. They tweet out this like everybody was on DeMar DeRozan last night, and that's fine. He had a great night last night. They win the game, all of that. But to go from a great game to MVP number one and just once again totally disregarding Jokic, the man has been getting disregarded for 2 straight whole years. Even last season when he won the MVP, nobody wanted to give him MVP, and now definitely nobody wants to give him back-to-back MVPs, even though he's having a better year this year than he was last season. Y'all just gave Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVPs after this season was worse than last season. Like, I just don't get it sometimes with y'all. Y'all hate to give people back-to-back MVPs, but you give it to Aaron Rodgers and you won't give it to Jokic. Y'all didn't love to do that with LeBron. LeBron should have like 20 MVP trophies to his resume, but y'all don't love to give people back-to-back MVPs for some reason. But then you give Aaron Rodgers the back-to-back MVP. It's so crazy sometimes what y'all do. That's what it is. So, I just can't get behind DeMar DeRozan as one. He's fantastic. He's great, folks. The stat tweet that I wanted to talk about here, that they tweeted out on DeMar DeRozan is this: the All-Star break couldn't cool off DeMar DeRozan. He had 16 points in the first quarter, his most in an opening quarter this season. It was his 9th quarter this season of 15 or more points. 4 of them have come this month. So, Once again, everybody's laid on the DeMar DeRozan train. They're trying to overcompensate it and showing it all these stats that he's number one in, that he's good in, and all that. And everybody's just kind of flying with that. So I guess I just have an issue that nobody was giving DeMar DeRozan respect, and then overnight he's MVP number one. Can we give some respect to Jokic, folks? The East is worse than the West. The West is tighter than the East, and Jokic is in the West, and DeMar DeRozan is in the East. Jokic has better stats, more efficient from down low, from the three than DeMar DeRozan is. DeMar DeRozan is very, very good. He has this Bulls team potentially making a championship run this season, absolutely. But to say that he's MVP on a team that is a big three, I can't do that, folks. Most valuable player, I gotta give it to Jokic. So we'll see. And once again, this could change. I mean, obviously we're not like Jokic is the MVP and we'll never change our mind. We still have the back end of the season to play. We still have crunch time to play. We still have positioning to be earned. Absolutely. So yes, this is not set in stone, but to wake up this morning and to say that definitively DeMar DeRozan is the MVP, I cannot agree with that, and I'm talking out against it, and here we are talking out against it. Jokic is MVP as of right now, February 22nd at 1:13 p.m. That's what it is. So everybody is on DeMar DeRozan. That's what it is. I just don't. I was truly perplexed this morning. I woke up, did my classic scroll of the internet, social media, sports talk. I did it all, folks. And everybody was on the DeMar DeRozan. And I'm just like, now y'all are doing this? We've been on this train for 2 months. Where was that? Where was the love for DeMar DeRozan then? We've been championing DeMar DeRozan for MVP discussion for the last 2 months. Now, how we always say, hey, we're about a week ahead of the national media. Who is the other? We've got two other players. Well, we had two players other than Jokic and Embiid that are not MVP 100% front runners, but they need to be in the discussion, number 3 and number 4. Number 1 was DeMar DeRozan. Who was the other one that we've been championing over the last month, folks? Pascal Siakam. So watch out for next week in the media, when everybody's on Pascal Siakam. We were here first, okay? We've been talking up championing Pascal Siakam. So watch for the news, talking heads to talk about that. Yes, folks? All right, and before we truly move off this topic, I posted my thoughts on DeMar DeRozan being MVP right before the show. Quick little 2-minute video that I aired out my piece. I posted it to Twitter. I have a notification up here that kind of went off during the show. Don't know what it says. I don't love reading because I know y'all like to dunk on people and y'all love to use very charged language on people, especially on social media behind anonymity, so I'm hoping this isn't gonna hurt my feelings coming at me personally. But let's see what this notification is. Are y'all agreeing with DeMar DeRozan being MVP? Disagreeing with us? Was this just a like? Was this a comment that's gonna hurt our feelings? We're gonna open this live on the show, folks. Let's see what the notification is. Are y'all calling me out? Y'all seem to have no problem calling me out. I kind of see it all the time. I try not to take it all personally. It's a little bit hard though. There's feelings in this body, okay? There's feelings in this voice. I know this may just be a voice to y'all, but I got a couple of feelings in here. So let's see what this notification is. All right, hopefully it's not slander. I don't want slander. You can have disagreement, but to slander me and kind of, use charged language and harsh words, I would like for y'all not to do that. But let's see what we get here. The notification, like, what do we get? It's just a like of a tweet. Okay, they liked it. That's what I'm talking about. They agree with it a little bit. They agree with it. If you disagree with it, that's fine. Just don't come, yelling at me, okay? Please. Please don't. I'm a little sensitive over here, okay? I know I don't show it, but I can hit my sensitive side every now and then. All right, so we got the agreement. All right, so we're not speaking blasphemy. We're not speaking nonsense, folks. We got some sort of agreement, okay? We know what we're talking about. I know I say that a lot, but we know what we're talking about. That's why we started the show, and now we can move on. Okay, so that is the MVP. A little bit of a discussion there. DeMar DeRozan, not number 1. Number 3, more likely. That's a little bit more fitting. Number 2, you can make the argument, and I may agree. All right, but that is just the MVP argument. I just wanted to get out of the way because it just came out of nowhere and it was just not making sense to me. But that is our piece on it. What say you? I always want to hear what y'all say. That's why I put the tweet out in the description of every single video, my Twitter. I want to hear what y'all are saying. I love to hear takes by fans. I want to hear what y'all are saying. I always take what y'all say. Y'all make good points sometimes, and that re-changes my thinking. I take what all y'all say, folks, and I put it all together. What I believe in, what I agree, what I weigh, what I weigh highly, what I weigh not that highly. I take what all y'all's arguments are. I take my arguments. I mix them all together, and that's how I form my opinion, taking information from everything, retooling it, going back, retooling it, taking what everybody says, and that's where we come from, folks. So love love hearing what y'all say, as long as it's not dunking on me. Don't stop with the Twitter dunks. Twitter dunks for likes, oh, you're trash, you don't know what you're talking about. We get that all the time. Oh, for the likes and the Twitter dunks. Congratulations, y'all can keep that. That does nothing for me, folks, honestly. But we digress. Alrighty, here we go.